At this moment, Aokiji was facing off against Garp. This surprised Garp. Garp told Aokiji to return Hibari to her original state, and told him to return to the Marines. But Aokiji felt that Garp was still a nuisance, so he immediately activated his devil fruit powers to prepare for a fight with Garp. Thus, Garp told Coby to step aside. Aokiji said, "I will live the way I want." This made Garp angry, so he released his haki. Suddenly, Aokiji immediately froze Garp's legs, and he continued to freeze Garp's body. This made everyone very worried about Garp. Aokiji asked Garp, "Are you trying to kill your old disciple just to save your current one?" This made Garp amused. "Didn't I always teach you to live in the present?" Garp then broke through Aokiji's ice, surprising everyone. Aokiji continued to attack Garp, but Garp blocked all his attacks. Aokiji continuously created ice and fired it towards Garp. However, Garp broke through Aokiji's ice very quickly. Garp caught Aokiji. Although Aokiji tried to escape, he was still hit by a powerful blow from Garp and fell to the ground, causing the entire island to shake and creating a large crater in the ground. At this moment on Winter Island, Blackbeard and Law were fighting fiercely against each other. But in the end, Blackbeard emerged victorious. Law and his crew were all defeated by Blackbeard. It turns out that Blackbeard's goal was to obtain the Ope fruit. Beppo saw that Law was in danger. This made him worried. Suddenly, Beppo remembered that Chopper had given him a special medicine. So, Beppo decided to take it. Meanwhile, Blackbeard was very pleased, because he planned to use the Ope fruit to make himself immortal. As he was about to take Law's devil fruit, suddenly, Beppo immediately transformed into Sulong form. Beppo then attacked them to save Law. This surprised Blackbeard. He couldn't understand how Beppo could transform without the presence of the moon. At this moment, Beppo's strength was on another level. He easily overwhelmed Blackbeard's crew. Suddenly, Beppo reverted to his normal form. He couldn't maintain the Sulong form for too long, but Beppo remained determined to save his captain, so Beppo immediately carried Law and swam out to sea. Meanwhile, Law was still worried about his other crew members, but Beppo reassured him that no one would die. No matter what happens, they would overcome it. Burgess continued to throw rocks at Law and Beppo, causing them to fall into the sea. Finally, Beppo and Law managed to escape from Blackbeard. However, Blackbeard was very pleased, because Law's pirate crew had been completely defeated. On the Marines' side, Django and Full Body were surprised, because they saw two heavily damaged Marine battleships in the ship graveyard. So, they thought these two battleships had gone through a fierce battle. But Branu informed them that the two battleships used to be Garp's training sandbags in his youth. It turned out that Garp would always train by punching the battleships. And he always practiced with his disciple Aokiji. Their rule was not to use haki or any abilities while punching. This shocked Django and Full Body. Meanwhile, Garp was facing off against the members of the Blackbeard pirates. Wolf was angry, because the Marines disturbed his sleep. This made Coby worried. Suddenly, Garp jumped up, and he punched Wolf in the face with a powerful blow. This sent him into the sea, causing the pirates to be frightened. They realized Garp was like a monster. This excited Coby and Prince Groose, and Garp told them to get ready for battle. But Vasco Shot appeared. He threw fire at Garp. So, he used the pirates as a shield. Then, he tossed them toward the other pirates. This frightened them, because Garp was destroying the place. If they let this city be destroyed, Blackbeard would be angry. But Garp's power was too terrifying. They had no way to stop him. At this moment, Kujaku informed Garp that all the slaves had been rescued by the Marines and taken onto the ship. So, they could leave at any time. Garp realized the mission was complete. So, he ordered Coby's group to leave. Suddenly, Aokiji appeared behind Garp. He was determined not to let Garp leave. This made Coby's group anxious, because Aokiji was not easy to deal with. So, Garp told them to run straight to the sea immediately. Suddenly, Coby saw a girl being captured. So, he turned back to save her. Unexpectedly, it was a trap set by them. Shiryu used his invisibility ability to try to stab Coby. But Garp managed to block that attack in time to save Coby, causing him to be severely injured. Coby saw Garp hurt because of him, which made him worried. But Garp immediately grabbed Shiryu and threw him down to the ground. Garp realized that he was the one who had escaped from impelled down. Then, Garp drew his sword. Meanwhile, Coby was blaming himself for Garp being injured because of him. But, Garp told Coby that they had been targeting him from the start. At this moment, Shiryu got back up. He recognized that Garp was very tough. The pirates saw Garp injured. So, they became excited and planned to capture him. Because Garp's bounty was 3 billion berry. At this moment, Aokiji also began to act. He froze the pirates. Because Garp was not someone they could capture. Both of them released their haki and faced each other. At this moment, Garp remembered that Aokiji wanted Garp to take him as a disciple. But, Garp told Aokiji, "You should learn to become a marine on your own." Because Garp didn't want to be bothered by anyone. However, Aokiji wanted to reach a higher level. So, he continued to ask Garp to take him as a disciple. This made Garp uncomfortable. Aokiji saw Garp punching the ship. So, he mimicked Garp, causing his hand to hurt. Garp told Aokiji not to use haki. So, he continued to train. The next day, Garp began to teach Aokiji. And they trained together. After Aokiji returned from his mission at Ohara, he no longer understood what the Marines' justice was. While Garp was angry, because his son had become a revolutionary. Several years later, Garp told Aokiji that his grandson wanted to become a pirate. Now, Aokiji said, "You have raised a formidable opponent." So, Garp and Aokiji unleashed powerful punches at each other, creating an explosion that blew everything away. Garp and Aokiji were also knocked back, causing Coby to worry. So, they immediately ran to protect Garp. At this moment, the pirates surrounded them. Coby realized they needed to quickly escape to the sea. But, Pizarro said they wouldn't easily escape from the island. So, he used his devil fruit ability, causing the island to tremble. The pirates saw a giant hand appear, which frightened them. Then, he extended the giant hand out to sea, to grab the marine ship, making Coby anxious. But, Garp told Coby, "Justice will prevail." At this moment, Coby remembered that he had failed at Amazon Lily, causing many Marines to be captured by Blackbeard's crew. While Blackbeard was still surprised, because Rayleigh had appeared and disrupted his plans. So, he decided to take the Marines as slaves as compensation. This made everyone disappointed in Coby, because he couldn't do anything. So, Coby decided to step forward and negotiate with Blackbeard. He would offer himself to save the 800 Marines. This intrigued Blackbeard. So, he agreed. At this moment, Coby remembered Garp's lesson. He needed to save one old man and one child. But, only one person could get on the ship. This left Coby unsure of whom to save first. So, he decided to go down from the ship, to let the old man and the child board. But, his answer was wrong, because Garp would leave the old man behind to save the child. This surprised everyone. Suddenly, Garp asked, "Why did you become Marines to save what?" Back to the present, Coby's group was very worried, because Pizarro had extended his giant hand out to sea, to grab the marine ship, causing everyone to be frightened. They didn't know how to stop him. Coby realized that everyone would die from Pizarro's tremendous power. So, he blamed himself. Because of his wrong decision, he couldn't save anyone. This plunged Coby into despair. Suddenly, Garp said, "You all need to save them." He guided them to create an escape route. Coby would destroy the giant hand. Prince Groose would protect the ship from collapsing, and Helmeppo would provide support for them. This made them anxious. But, Garp told them they had to act immediately. So, Coby's group sprang into action. While the pirates were still chasing them, they began to follow Garp's plan. Helmeppo blocked the pirates, while Prince Groose didn't know how Coby would destroy the giant hand. But, Coby didn't have a plan either. Suddenly, the pirates fired cannonballs at Coby. So, Helmeppo jumped up to block the cannonball, causing Coby to worry. But, he knew he needed to complete his mission. While Garp was still surrounded by the pirates, both Aokiji and Garp were injured. But, Garp continued to unleash his haki. He charged at Aokiji and punched him with a powerful blow. Then, Garp continued to rush toward Pizarro at incredible speed. Surprising him, Garp used the technique Galaxy Impact to punch him in the face, causing him to fall. Coby realized that Garp was supporting him, which made Coby remember Garp's words. He is the future of the Marines. So, he cannot let Garp down. Coby immediately sprang into action. Meanwhile, Pizarro wanted to kill everyone on the ship, causing them to worry. At this moment, Garp remembered. Helmeppo had once told him that he saw Coby always practicing alone at night. Because he knows he isn't talented, he had to train 200 times harder than others. Only then could he protect everyone. Even though Coby's arm was injured, he still didn't give up. He continued to punch the ship. At this moment, Coby realized that if he didn't hurry, the ship would be destroyed. He jumped into the air, surprising everyone, because Coby was about to confront the giant hand directly, causing them to worry, while the pirates thought Coby was a fool. As Pizarro was about to destroy the ship, Coby remembered everyone. He recalled his effort of training 200 times harder. So, he concentrated his haki into his fist. Coby unleashed the galaxy impact, causing the giant hand to be destroyed. This amazed everyone with Coby's strength. Meanwhile, Garp was very pleased. But the debris was falling onto the Marines. It was Prince Grusa's turn to act. He used his devil fruit ability to create a net. Meanwhile, Helmeppo was very excited, because Coby's efforts had paid off. Now, they could return home. This made everyone very happy. Because Coby was safe, they just needed to wait for Garp to return before they could depart. Suddenly, Garp announced that they had to leave immediately. This made everyone anxious. But Garp said he would be safe. Meanwhile, Coby wanted to go back to save Garp. Prince Grus stopped him. Coby remembered Garp once said that the responsibility of the Marines is to protect the future of everyone. Instead of saving an old man about to die, they should save the child. At this moment, Coby understood Garp's teachings. Because they are the future of the Marines, they needed to continue surviving. While Garp had been frozen by Aokiji, he was still very happy. Aokiji recalled Garp's teaching, making him avoid being scolded. So, Aokiji froze Garp. After that, the marine hero Garp completely disappeared. The latest news about the Straw Hat Pirates is spreading across the world. Luffy's crew has arrived at Egghead and met Vegapunk. They have to fight CP0 and the Seraphim. Meanwhile, Kizaru has led a marine fleet there. Their goal is to kill Vegapunk. But the news that shook the world is that Vice Admiral Garp has gone missing at Pirate Island. And the Emperor's Luffy have taken Vegapunk hostage. This has caused Makino to worry. Everyone in Fuchsia village is also surprised by this news. They don't believe that Garp is dead, because he is the one who created many legends. Suddenly, Makino's child started crying. So, she comforted the baby. Makino looked at the child, which made her think of Luffy. And they are also very worried about him. Meanwhile, Daiden's crew has also read the news. This has made them very anxious. Daiden doesn't understand what Garp and Luffy are doing that is so crazy. Suddenly, a large earthquake strikes, causing fear among everyone, not only in the East Blue, but also in the West Blue, South Blue, and North Blue. Earthquakes are occurring. This leaves everyone confused about what's happening. It turns out this earthquake happened after Lulusia was wiped out 6 days ago. Meanwhile, Emu is still in Mary Joie's, watching the situation in the world. The place where Lulusia's kingdom disappeared has created a giant hole. Ivankov is also surprised. As the sea level is rising, some islands have even disappeared due to flooding. This has caused chaos across the world. On Egghead Island, the island is surrounded by over 100 marine warships. This even surpasses the Buster Call. There are more than 30,000 marines along with 9 vice admirals ready for battle. And leading them is Kizaru. Suddenly, the marine ships are attacked by sea beast weapons. But Kizaru immediately destroyed them. Sentomaru warned him not to attack the sea beast weapons. At this moment, Kizaru is casually having lunch. It turns out that Sentomaru has prevented the marines from landing on the island. So, Kizaru advises him to surrender and join the marines. Meanwhile, Sentomaru didn't expect Kizaru wanted to wipe out Vegapunk. But Kizaru said that the crime of researching the Void Century is unforgivable. And he's just following orders. Kizaru also realizes that Lucci's group has been defeated by Luffy. At this moment, Saturn advises the Marines they must not reveal that he is here. And he is quite satisfied with the newspaper this morning. After that, he asked about the situation on Egghead. It turns out that Vegapunk and his 6 satellites are being protected by 4 Seraphim. And Emperor Luffy's crew had defeated Lucci's group. Even Sentomaru has taken the Cypher Pole agents hostage. And Labophase has activated its 100% defense system. So, no one can enter the inside. When he found out that Bonnie was also on the island, Saturn realized that she is Kuma's daughter. But, he saw Bonnie as unimportant. So he didn't care. At this moment, York, one of Vegapunk's 6 satellites, she contacted the Marines. And she also called the 5 elders. York blamed them for almost killing her. It turns out she had betrayed Vegapunk. And York is a spy for the world government. The 5 elders asked about Luffy's situation. So, she told them, she had completely taken control of the place. She had even controlled the 4 seraphim. So, she was confident that they couldn't harm her. Suddenly, Jupiter asked if she could create the Mother Flame. York confirmed that she could indeed create it. She promised to send the Mother Flame to the 5 elders, on the condition that they wouldn't harm her or the laboratory. She even wanted to become a celestial dragon. So, the 5 elders agreed. Unexpectedly, York was captured by Luffy's crew, because they had discovered that she was the traitor. When York called for help, it surprised the 5 elders, as she was afraid Luffy would kill her. This made York cry. It turns out Luffy's crew had also rescued Vegapunk. At this point, they fully understood everything. Everyone was surprised that York was the one who betrayed Vegapunk. While everyone was thinking of a way to escape, suddenly, Luffy decided he would use York as a hostage to leave the island. That's all for today's video. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to support Oni-chan in the next videos. Thank you for watching. Love you all.